Welcome back to this week's edition of our Superintendent Report with Dr. Warren. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. So how are you today, Dr. Warren?
Hayden, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Let's see, I saw you last night at a football game. You're doing this today.
Yes,
You're
sir.
all over the place.
I am. Busy.
How's school going?
It's going good.
Good.
Ready for Thanksgiving break?
Are we? I think we're all ready for
Oh,
Thanksgiving
yeah.
break. Are y'all going
One
to do
more
anything
week.
special?
Yeah, I'm going to my mom's hometown to see all my family.
Nice.
Yeah, how about
very
you?
nice. We're going to actually have everybody come here.
Awesome.
So that'll be very nice for us.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, today we just wanted to ask you a couple questions
Tell me.
about everything going on. So what are some examples of the way that the district is focusing on the mental health and well-being of students and staff?
Mental health and well-being of students and staff. And these, I believe, this time around are Byron questions. So let's thank all of our Bobcats for submitting these questions.
Yes.
Hey, that's a great question. This is a very weird time in our lives, and it has been for a couple of years. When the world of COVID hit us. One of the main things, we have a phenomenal staff that we want to say that our students can lean on if need be, with an emphasis on our counselors. We have a wonderful, wonderful group of counselors, and even before COVID hit, one of the things that we need as a school district, one of the things that I need to do a better job is making sure that counselors are not overburdened. The paperwork issues, the testing issues, the state has so many requirements that a lot of the times our counselors have to pick up the slack for. We've got to do a better job as a district of making sure their time can be devoted more to you and to your peers and to all the students of Northwest. Our counselors are not, they're not, certified psychiatrists or psychologists or things like that, but they do have in their master's work, in their degree work, they do have counseling in their backgrounds, and they're a phenomenal group. So we want to make sure that we're doing that. On the staff side, same thing. We want to make sure that we understand the morale of our staff. We've just completed a lot of questioning about what can we do a better job as a district to making sure that our staff is taken care of and things like that. We actually, as part of our insurance package, actually have a program where staff can seek outside counseling if need be, things like that. So that's a great question. It's a very important question. So we just need to make sure that we do a really good job of listening to our students and to our staff to try to find the ways to give them as much support as possible. Does all that make sense?
Yes, sir. It's good stuff. So we're also just wondering, is there anything in the district that we're planning to, because we have a lot of recycling, that's a big thing. We want to help the environment, but is there anything that we're putting in place to help do that?
Okay, that's another good Bobcat question for us this week. Hayden, we have, over the last few years, we have, especially if you put focus on our students, we've got a lot of green-minded kids, and I love that. They love the planet. They love to do that. And we've been talking. Here's the challenge that we've had historically about recycling. It takes. You have to get an outside provider. You have to get a kind of a third party to come in to do all that and be able to take it away. And whether it's bins from individual classrooms or the big bins that you see outside and everything like that, you've got to have somebody to actually come and pick that up and everything like that. The same challenge remains for these companies. We are a huge school district. And the companies that we've approached the last couple of years, if you look at, so Byron, just look at the three comprehensive high schools. Byron Nelson is on the far northeast part of our district. Northwest is right here kind of in the middle, and then Eaton is all the way there on the southwest side. There's a lot of miles in between, and a lot of miles the company would have to go. And then you've got all the middle schools and the elementary schools there in all over the place. So we are constantly trying, over the last couple of years, trying to find a company who could really serve us well. Then, and in fact, there was a couple of companies who we thought we'd be able to go with, and then, of course, COVID happened, and they haven't recovered yet, staffing-wise. They have not recovered. So we're going to continue to be in conversations with at least these couple of companies that we've been looking at, and hopefully they can recover, get those drivers, get their staff back in order after the COVID challenge, and then hopefully we'll be able to do that. Because you're not the first student, this is not the first question that I've taken, from our student councils and things like that. That's always been a question, and I love that y'all are like-minded in that fact that we want to take better care of our planet.
Of course, yeah. So we've also, in the district, we have a lot of families that have multiple students at different schools. So is there any way that the district can show staff and family all the events that are happening around the district? Is there anywhere like online?
To show, oh yeah, there's absolutely, we've got the district website that has a calendar component on it. It shows a lot of different things. The athletic website, you can see a full, from middle school all the way through high school events on there. Individual campuses have their own websites. One of the biggest challenges for us, and we do a lot of, I know the feeder patterns, if kids go to certain elementary schools, they go to a certain middle school and then go to one of the 4 high schools. The feeder patterns, we want to try to make sure that they're doing as much communicating as possible so that we don't overlap on these things, because we have so many parents. They may be in 3 different campuses all at the same time, students on that. So that's and we love it because those parents want to be at everything that they want to be. And you and I talked last time, the COVID protocols have gone away to the point where now more parents can show up to these activities and be there, and we love that. We want parents to come in. I was on campuses last week, and we've got elementary parents coming again to lunches, and that's fantastic. So parents need to start with the website. There's a lot of the principals do a wonderful job. The athletic staff do a wonderful job. The fine arts staff do a wonderful job of making sure all that is listed so that they can be at those activities they want to be at.
Of course.
Yep, that's a great question.
Awesome. So we recently heard that there was a decision to move away from the digital marquee. So can you explain the reason and the change, if we can either continue to see them or find another system?
The digital marquees. That's a great question. Oh Lord, Hayden, this is probably 4 or 5 years ago we made that decision, just because we started polling people. We sent out, we try to do a really good job of sending out questionnaires at the end of the school year just to say, what can the district do better? And one of the ways is, how do we communicate better, especially to our parents and to our community members? And one of the specific questions was about communication, and there were so many different levels of communication. And the thing is, the marquees were at the very bottom. That did the least amount of communicating with all of our stakeholders as anything. Social media, the way social media has taken off, that's where most of the people get there. Just like the question before, social media and websites and the internet is where people get their information. Marquees were so far at the bottom, and they're very expensive to keep up. So, and some of them are so old you can't even get parts for anymore, and so you'd have to buy a whole new one, and that's just not where we thought would be a good expenditure of the taxpayer money, because it's not the decision we made, it was people telling us they just weren't using those. That wasn't a mode of communication that was in use at the time. And I don't think it has gotten any better for the marquees since then. Yeah. So yeah, we made that decision several years ago just because it wasn't doing the job. Back in the old days, even before digital marquees, you had somebody out there actually putting letters up on the old-fashioned marquees, and that was a great way to do that. But now, with everybody getting their information online, it wasn't a good expenditure of our funds.
Yep. Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Is that all the Byron questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, they did a good job.
Yep.
We want to make sure we wish everybody. I don't think we're going to do another show in between now and Thanksgiving.
I don't think so.
So we want to wish everybody a great Thanksgiving. Be very safe.
Yes.
When everybody's driving.
Always.
And then we'll see everybody back after Thanksgiving.
Awesome.
We'll probably all weigh a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But that's a good thing.
Yes, of course. We'll be healthy. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of our Superintendent Report with Dr. Warren. Stay safe, everyone, and we will see you next time.